Welcome to another episode of Market Like It's Hot, the podcast that brings you marketing, a lot of our personality, news, and strategy for your business. With me, as always, because I forced her to, is Izzy who is my marketing BFF. She just said it, you guys. And I am just here because I look cool. And today we're going to be discussing one person, all the marketing, zero chill. Izzy, can you expand on this topic?
But wait, yes, it is tradition.
It is tradition. All right.
How is my wallet?
Like an onion.
How is your wallet like an onion?
Yeah.
If you peel back the layers, there's nothing.
Oh!
What was it?
Every time I open it, I cry.
Oh, damn, I like mine better.
Oh, yours is good. Yours is good. I like that. All right. So, on that note of my sad financial state, Izzy, what is this topic today that we are speaking about?
The reality of a one-person marketing team. What many companies will hire for expecting one person to run their social medias, their website, their anything printed that needs to be done, it all goes to one person. And let me tell you, they're crashing out on LinkedIn and talking about you.
Oh. Is it like TikTok where you can block people you know so they don't see your post? Oh, I didn't know that about LinkedIn. Okay.
They block their bosses and then they go on rants about you, bosses. So I'm just letting you know that right now.
I want to know. We can talk off the camera, off of this thing. I would love to know what's going on in Columbus, Ohio. But anyway, so the one person marketing department is not a strategy. Why is it not a strategy? Can't I just hire like a random intern and expect them to do everything?
No, because guess what?
Why?
The intern, it's their first working experience. Just because you don't know what you're doing doesn't mean the intern will all of a sudden, a few marketing classes will make them understand how to run an account for like, I don't know, insurance. And there's no results or data backing that too. Just because your kid has a phone also does not mean that they know how to run social media. It's the same concept. And the people who do have the one person marketing team, they are ranting about you and how they are underpaid and they're doing the job of what 10 people should be getting paid for. Duolingo did a great job with the marketing team. I think they had maybe 12 people on their social team, just social.
Yeah.
That's not just marketing, just social. And then there's different people for just SEO. There's different people for making updates to the website. There's different people for making graphics. And we hate Duolingo, so we're not going to talk about them anymore. But all I'm saying is there's departments within marketing that most people who aren't in marketing don't realize are even there.
Yeah. As a disclaimer, we used to love Duolingo. Now we don't like Duolingo. Make sure to listen back to a couple episodes, but yeah. I agree completely, mostly because I know even as a business owner or just as a person, right? You know where your strengths lie, but then when you're hiring one person and you expect them to know SEO, you expect them to know all these things at a very intricate level, they it's it's very hard. So you either have to go into it knowing that they will need training or conferences or something, or give them goals. Like if they seem to excel more, I don't know, social media, maybe that's where they should veer off. But I've worked in companies where you're like the only marketing person and they come up to you and they're like, fix the website. Literally, that's how I got into websites. They're like, design a website. And I was like, okay, like whatever I can do to not break this thing. Yeah.
Yeah. So they're giving them like entry level paychecks. for this job too. So that's why they're extra mad because they're doing the job of what 10 people should be doing. They're working longer hours. And then if things don't convert, then they're getting fired, even though they're doing 10 different things. So this is like just a huge trend on what's happening with certain marketing jobs. And they'll do it like in a cost cutting thing. They think like hiring an agent, and this is when I say this isn't even me trying to promote us. They do it so they think it's like, oh, then we don't have to outsource it. Then we can get marketing stuff whenever we want. It's more
Mhm.
expensive to have somebody on salary doing all of that
Yeah.
for you than it is to hire an agency. It is. And I'm not
Yeah.
saying take that job away from that person and by any means, but you have to understand if like we have packaged hours for stuff. If like you need
Mhm.
us or if you have us on recurring, it's a set rate. You can ask us questions. But if you have somebody working there 40 hours a week, doing the things like on call all the time like that, you can't give them like just that bare minimum paycheck and expect them to stay or be happy.
I like to ask people what could they live off of the salary that they pay people, and to just they don't have to tell me, but yeah, if I know that I would, it would be very hard for me to live off of whatever salary or hourly rate that the person's getting paid without any breaks or support or anything. I don't know. How do you expect your people, as a business owner, how do you expect people to do a good job? Or I don't like go, and then they're like, oh, why don't they go the extra mile anymore? Like, because they don't expect anything anymore. Like, they don't expect you to pay them more. You're already paying them very little. There might not even be bonuses if they do any extra work. So I don't know. I have my issues with the whole generational thing of like people don't want to work anymore. They're asking for more money
No,
because
they just know what they're
shit's
worth now.
expensive.
Yeah.
Like it's expensive. I don't, if I can barely make it, like how do you expect a person to make it on minimum wage? That's just me on a side rant.
People who make
Go ahead.
minimum wage and if they work 40 hours a week can't afford to like live. So
Yeah.
no, like it's a basic problem, but also if you're making them work in an office for 40 hours a week plus more because you're expecting all this stuff from them and they're not getting the paycheck that they need with all the work that they're doing, they're going to get burnt out and they're going to get pissed at you.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden now I see it on LinkedIn.
Yeah. It also depends on, I guess it does also depend on the job. But if we are veering into just like as a business owner, I'm reflecting on, for example, Starbucks. I don't think baristas get paid enough to, and I don't know when this will come out, but as of now, I'm kind of angry because they're being put on these strict uniforms or whatever. And as branding, okay, I get it. But as a human, I don't give a, like, I don't care what color your shirt is or if you have a full on reptile face tattoo, as long as my coffee is good. And Starbucks coffee has been okay. Like, it has a drive through, so it's easy to get to. But those people are not being paid enough to go through the hassle of having to wear certain things just so that your apron will pop.
Yeah. Also, if my coffee is not made by someone with either piercings, tattoos, or dyed hair, I don't want it. It's not going to taste good.
Yeah. Like your barista should be the most creative looking person in the entire like what else do like if I because I don't think they're making that much. So why would you put more regulation? So if for example, if I work in an office and I'm making minimum wage or not very close or whatever, to what I need to live off of, just in general, wherever your location is. But I still have to dress appropriately. I have to buy my clothes. I have to buy shoes. I have to look the part. Let's say we're in finance, because there's clients that might be coming in. Where am I going to get that extra money to buy these things so that to make your brand look better in the office? And then you expect me to put in a bunch of mental labor into your marketing.
Yep.
Sorry. Go
Right.
ahead, Izzy.
Yes. All I'm saying is they're gonna get burnt out, they're gonna get mad, and then you're gonna end up having to restart from the beginning because they're gonna quit, and then your marketing's just never gonna be together. So even if you
Yeah.
do hire this one person, let's say you can't hire a whole marketing team, that's completely fine. but at least hire an agency along with the one person to help and
Mhm.
aid them through it. So you're still not paying a whole other salary, but you're still getting stuff from them and the employee is happy too.
I agree because you're not the employee then becomes like the strategic creative brain, I guess, the one
Yeah.
that wrangles these cats for you. Because the biggest complaint that we get from people is that they have to manage this agency and that freelancer and this freelancer. But if you hire someone that can basically be that touch point for these agencies or these folks, then you've taken at least 50, like a bunch of emails off of your list. You've taken a bunch of tasks of checking work off of your list. And that person, in my personal opinion, I feel is learning leadership. They're learning, yes, how to continue in that creative space, but they're also learning key skills that will then help your business grow.
Yeah. And like, so that kind of goes into my third bullet point that I wrote down in here, the emotional toll. You need people to bounce ideas off of too. If you're the only marketing person in the office and nobody else knows anything about marketing, you don't know if your ideas are actually good or if it needs feedback. And then also, you need somebody to stick up for you because I guarantee you the finance guy that you're working for doesn't know anything about marketing. So you need that person to be like, this is why it's going to work and back you for that. And
Mhm.
that's also why they're getting mad. It's like they'll get stuff denied that they are finally passionate about, but these people don't know anything about marketing, so why'd they hire me? Then the imposter syndrome kicks in. It's like, oh,
Mhm.
well, am I even good at my job? Why won't anybody like believe that I should do this? It's
Yeah.
a bad combo for anything.
Yeah.
Because it's not like it's something straightforward like accounting. Like an accountant really has like I don't wanna say one job, but, like, it's very clear what an accountant's, like, duties are typically, you know?
Yeah.
With marketing, it's all kind of subjective in its own way.
Mhm.
So then it just opens up conversations that don't need to be open between other people.
Yeah. There's also, I know business owners who hire, it could be an entry level or an intern or something, but they expect that person to come up with, for example, goals for the business, but they don't have the knowledge about what's actually going on in the business. So if they don't know the industry very well, they don't know how your business is doing. They don't know if they should be doing more social media, if they should be doing other types of marketing, where the focus is, what are the KPIs, but then they get dunked on if sales aren't coming in.
Yep.
But it could be a variety of different reasons why sales are not coming in. That's just sad.
Yeah.
It's a
And
sad episode, Izzy.
sorry. But it's informative because it's like, I know they're blocking their bosses when they post this stuff. So it's like maybe just something to keep in mind at the end of the day. Because again, like if you're not in marketing, then you don't understand how much you're asking of somebody to do all these different things
Hmm.
and then do them all perfectly. Because guess what? It doesn't happen like that. It's like when somebody comes to us and they're like, I want a viral post every month. Okay, that's great that you want that. You're not getting it. I can't
Mhm.
tell what people are going to like or like when they're going to see it. I've had the stupidest things blow up on my personal TikTok, and it's just like that took me 2 seconds to make versus the thing that took me 2 hours to make. You know what I'm saying? You
Mhm.
never know what's gonna actually hit the algorithm, no matter how much effort or work you put into it or how much of a good idea it is.
So, what can companies do to prevent some of this? We touched upon some of these bullet points, but what overall can we do?
Hire an agency alongside your person, get a bigger team. I put hire an intern in there, but also so it's like bouncing those ideas off of them. And also it gets
Mhm.
them another person in the door. And then if you are a bigger company, you can potentially hire that intern after they're done with college or whatever they are doing too.
Mhm.
So it's just creating a place where people are able to talk about what they're doing and then they don't need the input from you. I'm telling you. you know? So um I also said let them prioritize their own tasks or specialize in what they want to do. Because everybody's better at something than the other thing. And again, marketing has 20 different things in it. So if you're not good at one thing, why are you making them focus on it?
Yeah. I would say from the older business owner perspective, being open to feedback. While back through a leadership program, would always say feedback is neutral. You take it and you take it or you just leave it, whatever, but feedback is neutral. And so asking for feedback is not about whatever feedback you get is not a bad thing. It's just another opportunity for you to, as cliche as it might sound, to grow or to fill in that gap. But asking for feedback. So if you do have that one person currently on your team, you can ask for feedback on maybe it's like when I send you a task, is it clear enough? Or should we do maybe a check in every week? Should we review the KPIs? Check, how much time are they spending on some of these things that could be automated so they can focus more on that whole overall strategy piece, and then being open to receiving that feedback, because it's not like we're all perfect. A lot of business owners kind of just end up in business just because they ended up in business. And some of them, even if you have an MBA or whatever, you still suck. I've met people with huge degrees, and you don't know what people are saying behind your back.
Mm.
So um, being open to feedback, being open to always continuing to learn, even if you do have like the biggest, I don't know, baddest business degree out there, being open to continue to learn how to support your team. You don't need to know how to do SEO, but you can support whether it's an intern or your entry level, whatever, that marketing coordinator. You can support them by at least knowing where they need help, and then either getting that fractional team, that agency, maybe just a couple hours a month. Maybe it's just that they need help with reporting. So asking for feedback is, I think, one of the most crucial things that you can do as a business owner, and
Yeah.
taking action on it.
Agreed. And the last thing I wrote in there too is just listen to your marketing person. I'm sure they're not doing things like if you tell them to do things in a certain way or you try to give them feedback on something, at least ask them why they did it that way. Cause I guarantee you there's a reason they did it that way, wrote it that way, or came up with it that way.
Mhm.
Because typically there's data backing it up in their head, whether or not they want to say it or not. It's not just all like, oh, that looks cute. I'm going to put that there. No, it's intentional. So before
Mhm.
you like say no, we need more information on that, at least listen to them.
Yeah. So tips if you are the one person team, I was gonna say bring in some special muffins into the office that makes people run to the bathroom all the time because you've had it. But I don't know if that's legal for me to give advice like that. So Izzy, what was your advice?
I just said prioritize. You can't do it all. Um,
Yeah.
and then if I don't know, the boss gets on to you about it, tell him or
Mhm.
her and have an open conversation because if what are they gonna do? Fire you?
Mhm.
You're probably miserable anyway. And also
Yeah,
they're just gonna do it to the next person.
yeah. I would say on that note, have a fuck it bucket
Mhm.
where basically you just have a savings of like, whether it's in relationships, or I guess they're all relationships, but whether it's personal or for work, you have savings. And I know savings in 2025, like if you buy a carton of eggs, it's like a mortgage. But you can you want that flexibility to be able to, if your boss is really insane, to just be like, fuck it, I'm out. Um, yeah.
Yeah. And I said try to automate some stuff if you have to stay there. Make templates for yourself so it's easier to get stuff out. Workflows and automation. I said your future self will cry tears of joy if you do this. It also just like takes a weight off of you. And then honestly, maybe you can assign it to somebody else at that point. So then they're just feeding into the automation. Track wins. So when they ask what you are doing all day, cough, 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 government, cough, Twitter, cough. You can show it to them and
Mhm.
say, I've been doing this, this, and this. What have you been doing?
I would say, and I don't want to put the responsibility on the one person team because that just feels like it's just not right. But if your boss, I don't know, it also depends on the boss. But hopefully, if you have a boss that's just like their brain is everywhere or whatnot, I would suggest scheduling one-on-one 15-minute conversations each week, every other week, once a month, just to talk through like what has been on your mind. And it could be the automations, it could be something else. You're struggling to create those, which KPIs or what will help the business most. Um, if the team is so small that it doesn't have that, and then it maybe even a team meeting with key people, and you can be in on that and just see where things are at. Those will help, I would say. Um, Again, just giving feedback every so often, even if it is quarterly, on how things are going. I love your idea of automating and delegating. I don't know. Personally, I would wonder, like, if Izzy, like, if you were like, hey, for the past 3 months, I actually haven't been doing that much because I hired this other person uh, from, I don't even know, what's one of the Fiverr, to do these automation things, and it's been working out really great, and we've made a ton of money. I don't know if I'd be mad. I'd just be like, oh, well, let's make sure this is secure.
Mhm.
But trying to delegate or just asking questions, I don't know, Izzy. But I just feel like this all then puts the burden back on that one person versus on the business owner.
Yeah, and I didn't even want to do that, but it's just like it's a system that needs to be changed. So it's just like I don't know. It was just giving ideas for the people who are currently in it, really.
Yeah.
And all I'm
I
gonna say is just be vocal.
yeah. Mhm.
They'll learn
I
real quick.
mean, yeah, I mean, like they already, I mean, everywhere I go, they're already talking about, if we're talking about Gen Z specifically, they're already saying shit. So might as well just live with it. Like they said shit about millennials all the time, something about like us spending too much on avocado toast or whatever and wine. And now they're like, why are you spending enough to stimulate the economy? And I'm like, I can't win. So every generation's gonna have people talking shit about them. Might as well just be vocal about it. And then definitely track your wins. Track everything, screenshot every single thing. And then hopefully there is like a yearly review or biannual review or something, and bring that and say, and then negotiate. Negotiate. They might not have the money for it. They might have the money for it, but you don't know unless you negotiate.
Agreed.
And then I guess block your boss from your posts.
Yeah. Also do that if you're gonna rant. Block the snitches too.
Not just get stitches.
Yep. Right.
So, well, with that, if you have realized that your one person is struggling, or you would like them to take more of that creative leadership role, and you would like to outsource some of the work that they are currently tackling and crying while, I don't know, drinking afternoon wine or something, give us a call, myrebelmarketing.com. You can find us there. You can find us on LinkedIn. You can also download the myrebelmarketing.com/checklist. Do not make your one person fill it out. You, as the business owner, should be able to either fill it out yourself or do it as a team activity, because that would just add more burden to your one person. So do it as a team or do it on your own, and then come back to us and tell us where we can support you with. Izzy, what final thoughts, words of wisdom, where can people find you, all the things?
You can find me on LinkedIn. I'm going to be posting on there, and I am now a LinkedIn influencer, self-proclaimed. So go ahead, follow me on there, linkedin.com/Isabel Dudosky. Follow Yasmine on LinkedIn. Follow us at Rebel Marketing on Instagram, LinkedIn, TikTok. That's typically where we're at. We're also on Facebook if you still go on there. Facebook, yeah.
And then Izzy, do you want to mention your skydiving trip?
Yeah, and if you follow me on LinkedIn, and I'm at around 2,000 followers right now, a little more than 2,000 followers. If I hit 10,000 followers by September, I will jump out of the plane and post it.
A plane on purpose, not one of those that are crashing down.
No, skydiving. I'm skydiving. I think I need to make that more clear. I'm skydiving. And again, this is all just part of my birthday this year. Just, be mindful, delusional, and gaslight yourself. So
Okay.
And with that, make sure to leave us a review, and we will catch you in the next episode. Thanks so much.
What are we? Are we friends?
yes. We went over this before.